What's up, guys? It's me, Vince Ryder, and welcome to back to my reviews. Haven't done these in a while, especially when it comes down to movies or anything. I was planning to do a Q Force review, but I still have a couple of episodes to go through and some movies on Netflix, but that never came. And it looks like I'm back in the Miraculous train, which I did a reviews before. Pretty much, I did the rest of them. I think my last one was I don't know. Was it Coin Banana or something? Yeah, it was a while ago. I haven't done these in weeks, so pretty much happy to be back. But of course, it's gonna be different because I'm gonna be doing this off the dome. I guess usually I would actually have these like 30 or 40 minutes even with some of the Miraculous reviews of one episode. But for this one, it's just like it's kind of different because I have school. I was actually planning to do like an essay style where I draw notes and stuff like that. But then it was like, man, I don't have time for that. Like I already have like a batch of papers like pretty much all set up for my college work, but it's like for a video where pretty much a lot of people, and from the looks of it, from what the way I see it, doesn't really watch much because I'm not a Miraculous channel. I just really love the show and I kind of just want to talk about it. So pretty much, doing this, spirited off my mind, I guess, relying on my memories, I would say. So yeah, let's just begin. Pretty much this episode itself, saw it two times, and I could get I could there could be some parts where I could get wrong. I remember when I was actually after the episode review, I actually check out other reviews and they were 10 times better than mine, if anything else. They were like pretty much the notes that I wrote down. I was missing already a bunch of stuff, even from the first half. And it was like, I was, they were talking about this that I missed, and pretty much it was like almost obvious. But it was like, I don't know. Like I was just, there was usually I would analyze a lot of these episodes, but it's like, I mean, how do you do that nowadays? When you have like, pretty much all the time, and when you are a Miraculous channel, but I'm not. So I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. But yeah, let's just begin. And I was actually planning to do this idea of going by each characters of this episode in Hexon. So pretty much it's also with that way, but also going usually like, from beginning to end and stuff like that. I mean, it starts off with the father coming in to tell Marinette, like, hey, we're going to meet your aunt. And even though the father doesn't, really care much about the aunt, especially Marinette. And Marinette has to stay there because, in Paris, she's Ladybug. And she, they rely on her for heroics, especially, Cat Noir. Definitely later on relies on her to actually, be there for him in a way. And also later on, as Marinette tries to make up some excuses to actually have a way to actually stay home, but fails to do so, especially visiting aunts like once a year. I can imagine being a hero and actually having a lot of families, especially me having a big family and also have to visit each one of them, but also having to stay, in the Bay Area where I need to actually, I don't know, become Batman and save everyone. I don't know, I guess. Or Byman. Yeah, that's a hero name that I made up in one of my episodes reactions. And pretty much I call myself Byman because I'm bi. But yeah, I couldn't imagine that with Marinette. And we're starting to see that a little bit more of how the whole pressure of her being a hero starts to get to her, especially somewhere like around like Gang of Secrets, where that definitely got to her of how she couldn't really get a boyfriend, how like pretty much the time when telling Alia. But thank goodness she told Alia because Alia became the new Ladybug. And also there was thing going on within the park of like, we see Markov and Max as well hanging out. I know for a fact that Shadow Moth was trying to plot, like for some reason, is looking at a picture of Max and finds out who Robuscus is, which is Markov, the robot, and plots of actually. And also speaking of plotting, Noru and also Desu was actually plotting behind them for another scheme to actually, get back. But, I guess that didn't work somehow. I'm not sure if he actually found out already hearing Noru, but transforms the Shadow Mott and use a Sensi monster to create Haxun to get to Markov, the robot. And Markov is, I guess, pretty much, of course, as a robot itself. There's something about, like, come on, Max at this point should, like, I could really see him being like, what, the new Elon Musk or something. Definitely like Tony Stark of how he creates this robot that's smart enough to do so many things, especially how, creating a robot that actually is like doing all things at once, counting Kim's like push-ups, counting the races around within Alex, and also playing the chess game and doing some kind of science stuff or whatever. Yeah, doing a whole bunch of those stuff. And for some reason gets the virus as well. And that's when, like, pretty much seeing Markov getting a virus from just clicking an obvious like ad, couldn't click away, like, oh, cute puppy, click. Like, I don't know. I guess that's the comedic of the show itself. And then, Markov then goes crazy. Boom, Kumatais, Robustus is back. And yeah, goes on like full savage mode to actually get the jewelries for Shadow Mott. But I'm getting ahead to myself. During that, pretty much Marinette then goes up to, because Alia already got the message from Marinette, for some reason hides it from Nino. Like, I swear, like, Nino should already know at this point, but, I guess not, just keeping it safe, just trying to hide from Nino. Okay. Goes to the subway to actually see Marinette, and then Marinette gave Alia one of the jewelries, and for a day or a week, yeah, pretty much Alia is now the new Ladybug. And it seems like, she's not, as expected. This is definitely how realistic, Alia is with becoming a superhero. How she's not capable at all of really having, the powers that, she dream of having, becoming like Ladybug or something. And just, like, I know that Reine Rouge was good enough. I feel like I need to get a little used to of Alia's suit, of becoming like, Ladybug or Scarabella. She makes a bunch of names for herself. But it was good to actually see how different of, how the Ladybug Miraculous plays in different ways. Especially, we've seen it with Adrian becoming Ladybug, and now we see a true Alia becoming Ladybug. And of course, speaking of Adrian, Cat Noir was not having it when, Ladybug appeared, and then has to get used to that. It was kind of like my reaction as well. If I see another hero, like, pretty much that I don't recognize, like, at all. Like, for example, Spider-Man. I know there's a bunch of Spider-Mans. I've seen the Spider-Verse. But one Spider-Man that I'm used to, like, for example, Miles Morales, like, yes, that's the Spider-Man I'm used to. Okay, I see him, become a hero. And I'm like his, bro, that I'm just, like, helping him out. Like, okay, this is what we're going to need to do, Miles. Okay, this is the plan. And then it's been replaced by someone else. Like, some random dude that is not Miles. Like, it's just some random guy that is, like, I don't know, like, someone else, of course, that is quite older, or, that is just different, has a different voice and everything. And I'll just be like, who are you? So that's definitely kind of like almost how I see a true Cat Noir. And Cat Noir itself, I feel like this guns deeper, because we expect how, I believe there was this prediction that in the Miraculous fandom saying that, there's going to be an episode where Cat Noir and Ladybug are going to fight. Something like that. I don't know. And it seems like, you kind of see that true. Like, literally, Cat Noir got mad and upset that, this is not the real Ladybug, to the point where Cat Noir almost akumatized. I mean, not akumatized. Like, it couldn't have been akumatized for some reason. But it's like he almost cataclysm Scarabella, or, Alia the Ladybug. And that could have been like full, like, literally smashing, Scarabella, as I I guess it's a name, pretty much Alia makes up all these names, but I guess I like Scarabella better. So I might as well call her Scarabella. That knocks her like literally like knocks Scarabella to like in the back really hard, and you see that pretty much like back of it like a chimney or a wall or something. And it's that serious kind of motion that you definitely see this serious side. And I started to see that a lot with Cat Noir of how he's just like taking L's and just not really having it at all with anyone. And I feel for that. But also, pretty much, just he has to like, he's already like pretty much later on in the episode already got used to Alia being like the new Ladybug, basically Scarabella, as Scarabella trying to make some other names for herself and tries to fit in. Also, like before that, before like becoming Scarabella, tries to actually really give like positive attitudes surrounding her friends and checking if everyone's okay. Seeing that how nervous she is and how she's trying to hide everything, you start to see like throughout this whole show that being a hero like becomes way more harder. Especially how I notice all the battles, like Star B or what was it, Lady Star B or something like that. I don't know, the episode where Ladybug mixed with the Queen Bee, Miraculous. That episode where Adrian was doing a modeling thing or whatever, that has to be one of the hardest battles. Like they almost reveal to themselves of who they are between Ladybug and Cat Noir. Like there was literally almost a reveal, and I thought that was gonna be it, but I guess it wasn't. So seeing how, like, especially how capable of Alia is, knowing that it wasn't a surprise to see her, like really saving the world and trying her best. Because if there's one thing I really know about like Alia, she's smart and she's capable, especially how this sort of relates to nowadays of how teenagers are just like smart nowadays. You see, like, you go to TikTok and pretty much you see these ones like already having a business and already making like loot of just like how many views they have, whether it's like YouTube or TikTok or just nowadays or something. I mean, compared to me, like when I was a teenager, I was literally I didn't even have a phone or anything else like that. So this kind of like plays like almost different and also relates to how things are nowadays. I've seen Alia, how smart she is and how much of a good friend she is, how reliable, how you kind of really need that, how that's very important, And I kind of said this throughout my other Miraculous reviews that, when you have friends like these, you can save more people. And, pretty much I really hope that that becomes somewhat of like a true thing when Alia becomes like the new holder or something like that. It can't just be two. It can't just be like Cat Noir and Ladybug. Like you just never know there's gonna be another replacement or anything. And in this through this whole episode, I understand that, Alia could have been Rena Rouge again, but actually really wants to be Ladybug. Mix things up and everything, and that I guess that's what the whole episode. I don't know if the episode would be interesting if Alia was Rena Rouge again, as she usually is, as the Trix, the Kwame was kind of like jealous of Tiki taking over and being more like trusty. I feel like the Kwames in this episode are just adorable somehow more than ever. Just seeing them, I just really like that. It warms my heart. And moving on throughout the episode, as everything was already cleared up and everything, which is obvious. And Alia, or at least Scarabella, didn't really, kind of like solve much of anything. Definitely seen that true, like how she's trying to figure out, like with the frying pan, using the lucky charm, like how do I use this? What am I supposed to do? And even for me, I always get confused, like whether like Ladybug is using the lucky charm and she's looking around. I'm just like, that doesn't make sense. Even though she points certain things out, how they're highlighted, still doesn't make sense to me because I don't know what I would do in that situation. I'm like, okay, frying pan, I'm throwing it to somebody, boom. But it's like, using pretty much another way of using the frying pan gives it to Marinette, and seeing Marinette like already captured and having Marinette even without the Ladybug Miraculous discovering that. And I guess this is the first in this episode where we start to see Marinette becoming Ladybug without the suit, and also helping out and destroying Hexon, and everything goes back to normal. And Shadow Mod is disappointed. And Shadow Mod was very close within this episode itself to actually getting what he wants. Guess that didn't work. but it is what it is, and pretty much all things are back to normal. And yeah, just how this all plays out was, that already good. And now, one thing I really want to go through is kind of like go through each character and talk about them, or at least the ones that are just mostly highlighted in this episode. Alia was pretty good. I could definitely see her being smart, and especially how she's like morally capable, how she's an important impact of this whole episode. Even though I already said that I think a couple times a minute ago, so it was good to actually see, like, especially how she builds up into a much more realistic standard. Even though like most people would say like she's like a token of a character and something whatever they say, like she's kind of like, to me, one of my favorites in terms of like support and help. And I guess it's that sense of like sisterhood that I see through her and Ladybug, that I really adore and that I just kind of respect. Cat Noir, or Adrian, Cat Noir is just, pretty much I see through his emotions. I see why he's like upset and how he's basically not really handling much well. And I get it. There is this whole discussion about in the community of how they're writing Cat Noir as a wasted character, of how he's like, he used to be good. We used to trust him, but now he's not, something like that. And, pretty much his relationship chasing Marinette, the whole Marinette and Cat Noir thing, and how that didn't work somehow. But people are still cheering, and also people are also questioning, and I'm gonna get to that in a minute with Marinette or Ladybug, because it's kind of like almost the same discussion in a way. But Cat Noir, I just I feel bad for him. I know there's gonna be a pinpoint where he's gonna not have it anymore, and that he's basically just gonna be like, I'm just done. I'm just done. That would be heartbreaking. I don't know, but who knows? Because it might happen. Uh, Marinette or Ladybug. There's like a lot of discussion in the community, especially a couple weeks ago, of like how she's like her behavior is not inspiring for like kids. How like how she's over obsessive or anything like that, and how that's a bad influence or whatever. I'm just noting that. I don't really am part of the conversation because I'm not much of a Miraculous reviewer. I just talk about the show, and I just pretty much see it from see it from the outside in. I basically am in the bleachers, and I'm just seeing the whole game coming and unfolded, aka just seeing videos of all of this discussion about how Marinette is not a really good influence at all for young kids or anything like that. And I'm not gonna name who, like, is discussing all of this, but I just see it. I just see it. I know who it is, and I don't really see her like much like that in a way. Then again, that's not what this episode is about. But it's like she's a teenager, and when you're in love that way, especially for me, when I was, had a crush and all that, I didn't know what to do. It was the most embarrassing moments I had was actually ever like talking to girls, like when I was like 16 or something, like, because I never had that in my mind and have the inspiration or influence to actually, or what was it, I mean experience to actually ever get there or something. But then again, that was like a long time ago. I treat everyone the same, and I pretty much see myself having like more female friends or anything like that. It sort of like points to me, and also like I don't know, it's just something that I just noticed back then, and I try to compare myself to like some of the characters that I look at, and I try to give a good perspective or something. And I don't know why that never comes to mind, but it's just something that I kind of like notice. And for Marinette, Ladybug, it is in this episode itself, like she cared about Cat Noir, from the end of the episode, going to Cat Noir and saying like, and telling him like this was a heartwarming moment. You got the freaking Eiffel Tower on the sunset, and she was like, "Listen, I cared about you, okay? I would never replace you," and something like that. And it's like you see how Cat Noir really trusts her, and it's just like that one of those deep moments that she is very adaptable with all the relationships she has. It's just like that's Ladybug. But as Marinette, I don't know. Like Marinette was just pretty much like captured and was vulnerable in this episode because it made sense within how she gets caught from Haxon because of the phones. And also another character I want to talk about is Marinette's dad, and how, like, I seem to actually, like, he seems to be such a good parent. How kind of like so much that he relates to, his daughter Marinette, and being there for him. It will be such an interesting episode. I know there's probably an episode somewhere that is going to be coming out where the parents are going to find out who Ladybug is. That is going to be deep. That is going to be deep. I mean, the mother was cool as well. Like, no, don't mess with the mom. That's what I would say. Shadow Moth definitely was, he was doing his usual thing and everything. He was so close, but man, he lost. So, whoopsie doo, Gabriel. But yeah, and also Natalie was just chilling over there. Max was, pretty much. I don't know if he plays much of a big component as well, other than the fact that literally his robot was taken over, and for like Markov, like was also just like I can see a lot of potential within Markov, but I can't help but feel like the especially with this scene where he literally got caught from a freaking ad, a kitty ad. Like he's the smartest. He's doing all these things, but an ad, like, okay, I see what Astruck is doing. I see what he's doing. But other than that, this whole episode was not bad. It was pretty good. It was actually one of my favorites, and I kind of like see why how many critics see it. But the way I see it when I was pretty much watching it on my own or everything, I really enjoyed how we see a different perspective of what Ladybug is, from Alia, and seeing more Alia is pretty cool because that's kind of like one of the people that that Ladybug really trusts. Other than that, this episode was good. I don't know what to tell you. This is just a short review. I don't think it's short. I think I just did. It feels like I've been here for hours, basically talking about this episode. I'll see you guys when I see you. And yeah, I don't know what our episodes, but it feels good to actually do a review again. I haven't done these forever, but oh my goodness, it's good to be back. Okay, bye, peace.